Welcome to JAAQ Jr.
I'm Pierre Gasly, 28 years old, and I'm a Formula 1 driver for Alpine.
Say with Formula 1, you're under lots of pressure.
Understanding myself and how to deal with it, I became actually really good at dealing with it.
Do you think that helps you do better in a race?
I was not great when I was younger. I was sometimes making mistakes.
What is the funniest thing you've seen at a Grand Prix?
One of the fans told me, "Oh, I actually have beautiful fingers." And I was like, "What?"
If you were to hide something in this car before a race, what would you hide and where?
So I really made sure that both of my eyes were wide open.
Who do you think would be the best Formula 1 driver?
I gotta go with our GOAT, Zidane.
So Pierre, who are you and what do you do?
I'm Pierre Gasly. I'm 28 years old and I'm a Formula 1 driver racing for Alpine F1 team.
So obviously with Formula 1, you're under lots of pressure. How does that affect you, and what do you do to overcome it?
So there is obviously there is a lot of pressure in F1, a lot of responsibilities. I think I've really growing up. I learned how to deal with pressure in general. I was not great when I was younger. I was sometimes making mistakes and getting upset, not performing in this type of situation, and actually understanding myself and how to deal with it. I became actually really good at dealing with it. So I'm actually feeling a lot less pressure now in F1 than I was when I was your age. So it was mainly about understanding how to deal with it.
So if you could explain F1 to me as if I was an alien, how would you describe it?
I will say F1 car is basically the fastest car that you can imagine. So it's on 4 wheels. You're behind the wheel. You got 2 pedals, and it's basically whoever goes fastest around a given track. It's. I think I'm in a position where I feel very lucky because it's probably, from my eyes, is the coolest job in the world. I get to drive these insane cars. Not the greatest to explain F1 in a very simple way, but that's what I would say.
So moving on to social media, do you ever get trolls, people maybe not being too nice to you, and if you do, how do you come back to them, and how do you deal with that?
Well, it's a daily, it's on the daily, but that's the world we live in, it's you got to be able to sort of deal with this situation. And there were times where I was bad, and because I couldn't understand, I was I'm kind of very not naive, but very genuine guy. And I would not understand why sometimes people will try to harm you or disrespect or, insult, etc. I never really understood what's the point behind it. And even to this day, so I just had to find a way to accept it. And I'm okay, now the way I approach my life is there's so much going on. Whoever is bringing some positive vibes into my life are more than welcome, and I try to sort of fuel myself up from that energy. And whoever comes with negative vibes, just shut the door and leave them outside. And I'm not a superhero. I'm not gonna fix whatever people's anger, etc. And I've actually accepted that some people likes you and some others don't like you. And as long as my people that I love likes me for who I am, then I'm fine with that.
Do you think that helps you do better in a race, using that as motivation?
Yeah, big time. I think it's a way of being at peace. obviously, I will still see it and I will still like hear it, but yeah, it's part of being exposed, and I think it's something in the ideal world, I wish no one will need to deal with these things, but I think it's right now, like we're not ready as a sort of like society to fix all these problems, and you just gotta protect yourself in the best way you can. And the way I do it is, I sit with the most important people in my life around the table, and if these people are cool and they are fine with who I am, and I'll listen to anything they say. But some people that actually don't know you, when they assume certain things about yourself, then doesn't really matter because they don't fully understand you. So I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Right, we've done the serious questions now. We're on to fun questions now. So, really random one. If you had an elephant for a day, what would you do with it?
Wow, I never thought about it. Putting me on the spot. What would I do with an elephant? Wow. I'll find a way to like entertain him. I don't know, like just giving a wild ride in the, I don't know, somewhere wherever it comes from, and yeah, just I would play with it.
If you were to have one song on repeat for the whole race, what song would you choose?
Oh, you know what? I get a lot asked these questions. I'm so bad at actually remembering like songs in general. I can't remember the lyrics. I like the rhythm and I love the songs, but even I listen on repeat, I just can't like fix the sort of like remember all the lyrics. But I really like Drake, so probably one of Drake's songs. Yeah.
Wait, I said Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. Just 'cause it's long and it's like it's all funky and all different. And you said one from Travis.
Yeah, probably Travis Scott.
Oh,
Drake
Travis
is a
Scott.
good shout.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that.
So obviously fans come up to you, ask for pictures, they say things to you. What's the funniest thing they've said or given to you?
Yeah, you hear all sort of stuff. Most of the time, it's just very positive energy and support, and it's actually a massive boost of motivation. Like in our sport. So.
You just said Charles Leclerc is one of your friends. If you were to hide something in his car before a race, what would you hide and where?
Something that makes him slower.
I said a fish to make it all really stinky, like in a boiling hot car to make it all like.
Yeah, you're giving me good ideas. You're giving me some good ideas.
So what is the funniest thing you've seen at a Grand Prix or a race that you've done?
The funniest things I've seen. Yeah, you see like sometimes race drivers signing or giving autographs on all like different type of like body parts, and then sometimes it can be very unusual, like very different than what you'll think. No, but otherwise, sometimes you have from the past, you have these sort of crashes or incidents that some drivers I've had in the past, and you just wonder like how the heck did they end up in such a situation. I don't know, when they're not looking where they're going, and actually the guy's looking at his steering and ending like driving all over the grass or like off the racetracks, like stuff that you'll think never happens from F1 drivers, but do happen because we will all make mistakes.
What was your favourite race and why?
Favorite race was was my win in Formula One, my victory in Monza. Yeah. So it was such like a beautiful moment in terms of emotions. Being able to like stand on top of the podium, listening the national anthem, and all the efforts since I was a child. Like my family supported me, helped me, my brothers. All the people that I met throughout my whole career that supported me in all different ways to give me the chance to actually live that unique moment and unique feeling of being a Formula One Grand Prix winner was very, 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 very cool and very special.
I'm guessing you had big celebrations afterwards.
Sorry?
Did you have big celebrations afterwards?
Oh, well, you'll be disappointed, actually. I actually didn't have anything massive because it was during lockdown. So it was it was kind of like particular, like kind of unique, but still my best friends managed to, straight after when I passed the line, they were in France, took their car, drove to the airport with no flights, tickets, went to the desk, they just give us the first plane going to Italy, in Milan, and they surprised me. So as I drove back from the racetrack, I arrived home and they were all standing in front of my door, and I was like, oh, I was just all over the moon already at that stage. I had no idea what was going on in my life because phone was ringing everywhere, but like just the surprise, I remember I was shocked and managed to have like still nothing crazy, but great nights with my best friends. Yeah,
If you were to win again in the future, would you have celebrations this time?
definitely. Yeah.
So, Pierre, you prepare for lots of races, but how would you prepare for one if the track was made out of jelly?
Jelly.
Jelly.
What would I do? I would probably prepare myself the same way. Like, you know, I have sort of like, I'm a control freak and I have my own routine, which I always do. But yeah, jelly try. I'm not too sure. Like, you probably give me the idea. What should I do?
Oof, probably like try walking on it and
Walking on the.
like get loads of jelly and just try walking across it, and then you get a feel for the balance. And
balance.
you'll know all the balance, and the engineers will know all the balance, so they'll be able to like, you know.
You're like kind of giving me like a good sense of engineering. You want to be, probably should hire you in our team then.
So yeah, maybe not quite yet.
If you had to make a five-a-side team out of F1 drivers, who would you put in your team?
Football five-a-side team.
There are some shocking players in the but yeah, I'll go with so you know much about F1, you know the drivers. So I will pick Alonso, great football player. I'll pick Sainz, I think he's good. Spanish DNA, they're usually pretty good. I'll pick Charles, because usually we play in the same team, we always collide and come together somehow, and it's just funny how we are not made to play with each other, but it's just so I'll pick him, and then Yuki Tsunoda. Actually he's got some good skills.
So going the opposite way, a French footballer, who do you think would be the best Formula One driver? Any French footballer?
I gotta go with our GOAT, with Zinedine Zidane.
Yeah, I could actually see him getting a helmet on and just driving.
You know what? We actually raced again. Like, we raced with him at the end of last year. We went to Madrid to see him, and they set up that go-kart track in a parking, and we all like hop in the cars and then started to drive around. And I was shocked. The guy can drive like well. I was really impressed, and we actually started to be quite racy. And we had like a sort of like, not a crash, but like we came together like quite hard. And it was just funny, but it was good. It was really good. If you'll give him some practice, I think he'll be very strong.
Thank you so much, Pierre, for coming on JAAQ Jr. We've absolutely loved it, and hopefully we'll get to do more things with you in the future.
Thanks to you. Honestly, you're two legends. You're so inspiring. Like, I'm telling you, like, just keep doing what you're doing. And it's very, very inspiring, everything you're achieving at such a young age. So congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.